Welcome to Trivia Viral. Our channel covers all the latest analysis and recaps on TV shows and movies, as well as interesting stories and facts that you may not have known. So sit back, relax, and subscribe to our channel if you have been enjoying our videos so far. A man who is a reclusive academic has dedicated his life to finding planets that are habitable so that the human race can expand. One night, while he is presenting some work at a gala, he meets a woman. The two of them become romantically involved. She soon leaves him after a pregnancy scare. She finds it is unfit to be a father because he is very obsessed with work and unable to form bonds with other human beings. Several years pass and eventually he again meets with her. She tells him that they have a daughter. However, he decides not to meet with this new daughter. Set 30 years later, in 2049, a terrible disaster has wiped out most of the Earth's population, and the surface of the planet became contaminated with ionizing radiation. The academic, now much older, is the only person living in a large Arctic base. A recent flashback shows him refusing to join the evacuation crew. He knows that he does not have long to live because he is suffering from an unidentified serious illness that requires hemodialysis and medical equipment at the base. This video is sponsored by QD. QD is Asia's largest platform for students, tutors, and coaches to match up for lessons. Sign up at QD today. Then the academic searches the computer systems to find an active crewed space mission to warn people about the situation on the Earth. He finds only one: the interplanetary craft named Etha, who is returning from a mission to explore Jupiter's habitable moon, the K-23. He has the task of warning them to turn back and return to this planet from which they were scouting, so they can take with them the future of the human race. The problem is that his signal isn't strong enough to communicate with the crew before it's too late, so he must travel across the Arctic to get a stronger signal. In the meantime, the crew of the Etha are under the impression that their systems are faulty and that they have lost contact with the Earth. Later on, the academic finds out that his antenna is too weak to allow him to contact them even after calculating that they are within range. Aside from his steadily deteriorating physically ill health, we also learn that the academic is experiencing mental blackouts. After a kitchen fire, he discovers a young girl who is hiding in the kitchen, but she does not speak to him. She seems to be mute. He tries to reach out to other evacuees in order to get someone to pick her up, but no one responds. Meanwhile, the girl starts drawing the shape of an iris, and the academic infers that this is her name. Although he initially was reticent, he soon becomes fond of the girl and takes her with him on a snowmobile to another base farther north. There he looks for a larger and more powerful antenna. He is hoping that they will be able to communicate with Etha using it. They brace against the freezing temperatures in the chilly North Pole, and a series of obstacles leads to the academic losing his dialysis equipment. As a result, he is condemned to his doom soon. After he arrives at the base, he manages to call Etha, briefly telling them about what has happened. But when the crew arrives, they get interrupted by a meteor strike that damages the radar and communications systems on board. In order to repair the damage caused by the collision, a pregnant mission specialist and her partner, who is also the commander of the crew, conduct a spacewalk with a flight engineer. As they repair the communications and radar, they become trapped in a second asteroid field that fatally injures the flight engineer. Then the specialist goes and reaches out to the academic, who advises that the woman not return to Earth because of the disaster, but that she should go back to K-23 and start a new life there. Initially, Etha's pilot refuses, but upon discovering his wife's final words to him and seeing the situation on the Earth, he understands that it is in the crew's best interest to return to Jupiter's moon. Even so, he decides to go along and use one of the two re-entry vehicles to return to the Earth, hoping that his family, who have been evacuated to temporary safety, will be able to find them. He is accompanied by a crew member who saw the flight engineer as his second daughter and wants to bury her body on Earth. The two set off together. In the last communication she had with the academic, the specialist realizes who he really was. She tells him that he is the reason that caused her to join NASA and become a mission specialist in the first place. She also says that her mother knew him, since he had given her a small moon rock. She tells him that her full name is Iris Sullivan. The academic says that he knows her name, inferring that the visions he's been having of the mute girl was all a hallucination. When she asks him about how he ended up at the base, from which he started to contact Etha, he says that he had hoped that he might be able to help someone. That gives us a hint that the reason that he kept keeping track of the mission was not only because he discovered the moon to which it went, but also because he knew that the specialist was his daughter, and that she was part of that mission. Before stepping out to be cold and succumbing himself to his inevitable doom, the academic tells the specialist that he is proud to have finally met her. The specialist describes to him the meaning of K-23. Both the specialist and the commander are left with nothing but to return to K-23 by following the course that the academic has taught them. They hope that they will give the rest of the human race a second chance.
What are your thoughts about this story? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe if you would like to see more similar videos, and give us a thumbs up to get more recommendations of our videos. Be the first to watch the latest videos by clicking the bell icon. See you on the next video.